any kind of reunion. I told him, yeah, I'm finishing up a couple shows with Sam, and I said I'd be interested to hear what you guys got going on. Well, I've got a few dates left, and just give me a call. And I never heard back. Now, we knew that already. Now, this is the interesting part. Then he says here, then right around the first of the year, I got a call from David Lee Roth's business manager / lawyer. He got a hold of me about a meeting or something, and so at that point, I gave it over to our manager because I didn't want to start getting into this whole thing. I wanted to do it the correct way, especially after the way things went for me in 2004. Woo-hoo-hoo! So that was a little prickly there. And then he said, from what I've heard, and I haven't spoken to any of the guys, they were going to try to plan something for this summer. And for whatever reason, my people were never got in touch with about any kind of contact or any kind of meeting to discuss what happened. The next thing I knew, the plug got pulled on it. Now, Eddie, I'm going to give him credit on something here, and then I'm also going to reprimand him on one. He did bring up the whole Eddie situation. Is Eddie sick? Do we know anything about that? There's been rumors that something's wrong with Ed, and that's why the tour plug got pulled. And Mike wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. He's like, I don't know. I think he's full of baloney. I think he does know. I think he's keeping mum about that. But what I don't understand why Eddie didn't say is he didn't discuss Wolf. Like, Mike, if you were coming back into the fold, in what capacity were you going to come back? And what was going to happen with Wolf? And then when he brought up the idea, he did bring up Wolf in one way. He said, I really think, Wolfie should be opening the shows as a way to promote his album. And Michael's like, yeah, why not? But he never, led on what the real plans were. Dave, what did you make of this whole thing?
Well, I'm not surprised because the key point is he never spoke to anybody in the band.
Right.
It's not like band members were talking to each other and they were like, okay, you know what? We're going to do some dates.
Right.
And then they got in touch with management and said, make it happen.
Right.
I mean, that's why he's saying things like when he's saying pre-production.
Right.
He was really saying, I mean, he wasn't like, hey, I had firm dates for pre-production.
Right.
He was more like, hey, we'd probably be in pre-production right around now.
Right.
If things had happened. And I agree with you. I think he is being mum about Ed because, Mike's a good soldier. And he won't tell you the whole truth now, and then he'll give you some more details later, which is exactly what is happening with this interview. Yeah. So I'll give Eddie Trunk credit in that he's the one who had the interview with Mike to get info.
Right.
So he got it straight from the horse's mouth.
Right.
But as far as what was going on with Wolf, I think Ed didn't ask because I really think Mike doesn't know because it just never got that far, unfortunately.
Right. But here's the thing. If you're Mike, right, and you get a call from Irving Azoff, my first question would be, what about Wolf?
It's not. That's not my first question if I'm Michael Anthony. My first question is, how much am I going to get screwed by Ed? Well, that's my first question.
Well, look. As Michael had said, he's a gentleman. He's not going to deal with that. He's going to let the managers handle the money and whatever, the compensation. But
but my question would have been what is my role in the band, right? I mean, which is kind of like what you're asking. Am I the full-on bassist? Right. Am I just coming out for some guest spots?
Right.
Or are we both doing it? What is my deal?
Right. Because that whole rumor of what they were talking about was asinine. I mean, that rumor about him coming out for a few songs, that's insane. I mean, you got to be kidding me with that. So my first question, if I was Mike, like you said, what's my role? In the sense that, Wolf has been the bassist in Van Halen since 2007. It is now 2019. That's 12 years. So if I'm a bassist and I'm being called from Van Halen, my first question is to be, where's your bassist? What's happening with him, considering that he's Ed's son, too? So that's why I said the only way Wolf would step aside would be to open up. And the best way for all parties was if Wolf opened up and the original four got together, that would satisfy Mike. That would satisfy Dave, who has been wanting the four to get together. That would also help boost Wolf. It would help boost Van Halen. It would be the best overall package for everybody, except for Sammy Hagar, of course.
Right, who's still knocking on the window trying to get in the door.
Oh, my God. He is never going to stop.
No.
He is never going to stop.
Right, but I don't want to go down that road.
No, I know.
Because, well, actually, we should. Maybe Sam will actually do another interview with us.
Yeah.
But I digress. Actually, the only way Ed is going to sign on to this is if Wolf tells him it's a good idea.
Right. No, I think
right? Or Wolf says, Dad, this is good for me.
Yeah.
So, or why don't you do it for the fans,
right.
Dad? Just swallow your pride. Like, that is the only way it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But honestly, you say it's ludicrous that Mike only comes out for a handful of songs. I got to tell you, number one, with this band, I would not put it past them to ask Mike to do that.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about asking. I'm talking about it is just not what the audience wants. Don't dangle Michael Anthony in front of the crowd for a couple of songs. First of all, that's putting Wolf in a ridiculous position. Okay,
but Dave, the Rolling Stones did that with Mick Taylor for like a whole tour plus. He'd come out, do Midnight Rambler, maybe like another song or two, and that's it. And he went everywhere with them.
Okay, all right, but wait a second. It's a little different. Let me tell you why. Woody has been in the band forever. I mean, he has been in the band since 1975. That's a very long time. So,
I get that.
So 44 years Woody has been in the band. Okay? So now Mick Taylor left the Stones on his own fruition. Okay? He wasn't exactly as well loved and heralded. Michael Anthony is the original bassist in Van Halen for many, many years. Okay?
Mick Taylor wasn't loved and heralded. Dave, the Stones' best albums are with this guy.
I understand that, but I understand. Look, you're talking to the biggest Stones fan.
I know.
But listen to me.
I want to know why you're talking out of your ass.
I'm not talking out of my ass. Listen to me. I love Mick Taylor. I love the work he did with the Stones. Yes, his period with the Stones, hands down, their best creative period, their best albums. But I'm saying Mick as a personal player, he doesn't weigh as much with the fans. You have to realize Woody is not Keith Richards' kid filling the role for Mick Taylor. Like, Mick Taylor was in the Stones for a very brief period of time. I mean, Michael Anthony has been in Van Halen since the day one. I
get that, but the point is the precedent has been set, number one. And number two, I would not put it past the band at all to say, Mike, you want to be in the band? Fine. Here's the deal. We're paying you an insulting amount of money. You're going to come and do 2 songs out with us, and that's the deal. Take it or leave it. I totally see Ed
so Dave, if you're going to
telling them that's the only way he'll come out and do it.
All right, so can I ask you something on your end of this? What bonus does that give anybody?
Because you get to say it's an original Van Halen reunion.
For 2 songs?
Yes.
Oh.
That is, I'm telling you.
It's not going to fill stadiums. It's not going to fill stadiums.
That the brothers would find that acceptable.
It's not going to fill stadiums.
I agree.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Listen, the whole stadium thing, unless it was some kind of
festival
package tour with 4 other bands, there was no way stadiums were going to happen.
Right.
No way. Just with Van Halen and some other. No, the only way is if Van Halen was opening up for like the Foo Fighters.
Right.
Or one of the other bands Dave was suggesting.
Yeah, something big like that, yeah.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
One thing is, Van Halen did release a single, Dave, if you can believe it or not. Well,
say what?
Yeah, Van Halen released a single, and believe it or not, it's the same single from 35 years ago, except with a little bit of a twist. So, Jump, the hit #1 single from 1984, from 35 years ago, has been re-released as a remix, the official DJ Armin van Buuren remix, and Jump is sort of like, it's one of these like dance hype remixes, so something you'd see it like a rave. Here's a clip right here.
Might as well jump, jump. Go ahead and jump, jump. Go ahead and jump.
Now, the funny thing about it is, the song basically only has DLR's vocals, but only portions. He has the first verse, the chorus, part of the second verse, and then they just repeat chorus in different pieces here and there. There's no Michael Anthony on there. There's no Alex Van Halen on there. The only Eddie on there, there's no Eddie guitar. The only Eddie is the main keyboard riff to Jump. Okay? That's the only thing that's on there. And I gotta be honest, I don't even know how he got this past the brothers to release this, because I can imagine that they have to sign off on this. There's no way. And not only that, they have the original artwork from the cover of 1984. We gotta tell Margot Nahas.
I hope Margot knows
I know, exactly. It's unbelievable. It's shocking, to be honest with you. And I don't know what to think. Maybe they're thinking they get a quick buck, open them to a new audience or something like that. Maybe they couldn't say no to an artist of their similar descent. I don't know, because I think he's from the Netherlands, right, Dave? Isn't Armin from the Netherlands?
Somewhere from around there, yeah. I think Dave was just like, hey, listen, this guy, he's my buddy, he wants to do it. And they were like, yeah, that's fine.
Well, I guess it's okay. Or maybe it was just anything to get Dave out of there. All right, Dave, fine. No problem. Yeah. Well, we'll see you in about a month.
Right.
We'll see you in about a month.
And they'll make a few bucks off.
Oh, my God. And Alex Turner goes, can you believe that guy? How did we do it all these years? Oh, my God. Thank God he's got a podcast. He's got someone to talk to. He's got that mic. It's okay. It's a fun way to hear the song, and it just doesn't have... It's sad that it's the only Van Halen release in 4 years. And you know, it's something I was thinking about, Dave, the other day. In the past 30 years, Van Halen has only released 4 studio albums. Can you believe that?
Yes. You're including compilations.
No. In the past 30 years, so since 1989... Okay.
30 years. I'm sorry.
30 years. 1989, we're counting Balance, and we're counting For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, Van Halen 3, and A Different Kind of Truth. 4 studio albums in 30 years. That is insane.
Oh, yeah. The potential is just sad.
It's unbelievable.
Lost. It's just lost.
Yeah, absolutely. So now Roth has been touring around with Armin van Buuren, this DJ, right? And he's making multiple appearances with him. We talked about it last time, and he's done some more this time. He's out promoting this dance club remix of Jump, and he's been going around. He's sporting his short white hair, or the military buzz with sunglasses and shiny suits, and he's hyping up the crowd at EDC in Las Vegas and the Pink Pop Festival in the Netherlands, and where he actually performed the song live this time as opposed to, just doing the hype man stuff.
Right, which was incredibly annoying.
Yeah, absolutely. And apparently he even jumped into the DJ booth for a bit and did some spinning. So he loves this stuff. And to be honest with you, I wonder if he loves the stuff or he just needs the attention.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
He definitely loves the attention.
Yeah.
I think he likes the music. But he definitely loves the attention.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he also kind of gets off on introducing his legacy to a younger crowd. You know what I mean? Like, I think he wants people to know, like, they'll be, I saw David Lee Roth, he sang Jump, this and that. And there's one song that everybody will recognize. It is that one. I just love how Roth is so attached to Jump, and it was the song that he fought Eddie to putting on the album.
Yeah, that is the ultimate irony, is that he's not afraid of that song at all.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
But he was the one fighting it, like, I don't want to say tooth and nail, but it certainly wasn't on the top of his list of songs for the band to do.
Absolutely. So now we come to Dave. Do we have even more news on Dave? Well, this was a little sad, but it was funny and it was crazy. So this is one hot mess. So Roth is in the hotel in Las Vegas for EDC. He's traveling around the halls, and for some reason, he's got a camera crew with him. I don't know what the hell he's filming, but he's got a guy with a boom mic, he's got a guy with a camera, he's got an assistant with him, and he's walking through the halls, and he's all duded up in one of those, like, fancy suits that he's been wearing lately, and he hears a Van Halen song playing from behind one of the doors. So he decides to knock on the room. And he knocks on the door, and he says, "Hey, it's a happy neighbor," right? So he opens the door. Can you